Alright, I want to go ahead and go over the AR verbs. I'm looking at the left over here. I want to start off with the AR conjugation chart. So this AR conjugation chart is something that that you'll be using to be able to put the endings on the verb. So we start off in the top left quadrant, and if you remember the subject pronouns over here, this is for I, which is yo, and your ending is a letter O. And if you remember that, you know, when we say things in class and we're talking about I or me, we usually end with an O. The next thing is the U informal, the tu. And your ending is an AS. And then moving down, you're going to get to this area of usted, él, and ella, which is you, he, and she. And this is the formal. And notice how the letter is an A ending. Moving right over to the top right quadrant. This is the we. And this is going to be the amos ending. And then if you remember, this is the one that we don't use. It's vosotros. And then moving down to the bottom right, you're going to get the they, which is ellos, and the you all, which is ustedes, and your ending is that letter AN. Alright, so let's go over here to the right now. And if you look, we're going to go ahead and conjugate the verb hablar. Hablar means to talk or speak. So, looking over here at the AR conjugation chart, if you remember, when you conjugate a verb, the AR will fall off. And you're basically left with that HABL, which we call the stem of the verb. And then, if you look over at this side, these will line up. You're going to add an O ending. And so you would get hablo, which means I talk or speak. And then coming down over here, this is the informal tu. So when you conjugate this, the AR falls off. You're left with that stem, which is the HABL. And then on this side, it tells you to add the AS. And so that's why we've added the AS to give you hablas. Tu hablas, which means you speak. And that's the informal you, the one that you use with friends or people that you know. Moving on down, if we look at this quadrant, we know that the letter is going to be an A ending. And so right here you get habla. But remember that this one, habla, can mean many different things. You have over here on the left, it means you, which is you formal, the one that we've been using quite a bit in class. Use this when you're talking to older people or people you don't know. It's to show respect. And then moving down, habla can also mean he, okay? Él habla, which means he talks or speaks. And it can also mean she or ella. Ella habla. She speaks or she talks. Okay, the top right quadrant. This one is going to be the, if we look over here, we know that we're going to have the stem HABL, but we're going to add the ending of amos for the we. And so you get the word hablamos. Remember that the H's in Spanish are silent, so you don't hear them. Okay, so that would be nosotros hablamos, we speak or we talk. And then again, this one is not used. And then this last one, the word you're going to get is hablan. That could be they speak or talk, or it could be you all speak or talk, which would be ustedes hablan. So just remember that the ones that are down here in the bottom left quadrant and in the bottom right quadrant, these ones mean several things, and so the subject pronouns, the usted, él, and ella, become very important to use while you're saying them, while you're speaking the word. And also in this quadrant, the an, the hablan, either the ellos hablan or ustedes hablan, it becomes important to include that subject pronoun. Whereas the other ones, the o or the as or amos, hablo, hablas, or hablamos, it can only mean one thing, so it's not as important to include it.